Damaged, 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 damaged. I thought that I should let you know that my heart is damaged, damaged, so damaged, so damaged. And you can blame the one before.
And you may not be here then.
Okay. Before it gets to
and anybody want to go with you, they could go too. Don't get it twisted, man. It gets dark and lonely. It does, trust me.
So how you gonna fix it, fix it, fix
Baby,
it? How you gonna fix it, fix it, fix it? How you gonna fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it? How you gonna fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Empressive channel. This music documentary profiles the group Danity Kane. Danity Kane was one of the biggest pop female bands to emerge from the US, and they made their rise to fame in the mid-2000s. They were the first girl group that became successful off of a reality TV show, and they went on to be a multi-platinum selling success. However, their success was short-lived due to label trouble, egos, drama, and breakups. A lot of Danity Kane fans today are still wondering what happened to the group. This video will answer all of their questions. Danity Kane was put together by the producer and CEO of Bad Boy Records, Sean P. Diddy Combs. P. Diddy launched a reality show series on MTV called Making the Band, and his goal was to put together a supergroup that would change music history. The show did get a lot of publicity, mainly because of Diddy's antics and the fights between the group members. Diddy also put his artists through mental gymnastics to test how badly they wanted to be in the group. A lot of viewers of the show were stunned when Diddy made one of his groups walk across the Brooklyn Bridge just to get him some cheesecake. It was outrageous, but it made for great television, and Diddy knew this. After the first 2 seasons of Making the Band, Diddy did put together a rap group called The Band, but the group didn't stay together long. Diddy decided to launch another season of Making the Band called Making the Band 3, and in this particular series, Diddy was looking for the next female pop group. There were thousands of contestants who wanted to be a part of Diddy's new girl group, but only 3 made the cut. One of them was a woman named Malika. The other contestant was Andrea Fimbris.
And when I look into your eyes, then I realize all I need is you in my life.
And the other contestant who made it was Aubrey O'Day.
Aubrey looks good.
Aubrey from the get-go always understood and exemplified what it took to be a superstar, you know what I'm saying?
Aubrey, Andrea, and Malika were the strongest contestants of the first season of Making the Band 3. However, Diddy wasn't completely satisfied with the choice. He felt like there were other girls out there, and he was willing to look for them. He held another audition, and thousands of more girls tried out. In the second auditions, Diddy and his team saw more girls that stood out. Some of the girls included Dawn Richard, Shannon Bex, and Dee Woods. The second season of Making the Band 3 was even more intense than the first season. Diddy made the girls work hard. He and his choreographer, Leanne Gibson, put the girls through grueling training. He had them running laps, spending hours learning choreography, and also doing intense vocal training. One of the girls who was chosen in the first season, named Malika, could not keep up with the new batch of contestants. The newer contestants were stronger singers and dancers, and they were also younger. Malika ended up getting cut in the second round of auditions.
Straight out the door, I did flub on the first step.
Stop it. Y'all just did it. All y'all might as well go home.
Andrea's position in the group was also threatened. She was going up against some strong dancers, and she too had some struggles competing.
Stop, who's that right there? What's your name?
Andrea.
Wasn't you here last time?
Yes.
There's no way that's the same girl. You lost your swag or something? I don't even want to see this no more.
While the other girls were competing, Aubrey was getting opportunities outside of the show, like posing for the magazine Blender. This would actually be the first of many times Aubrey would take opportunities to do something else outside of the group. Even though Aubrey got a chance to shine by herself, she still had to compete with the other contestants. After the long, grueling season, Diddy did eventually narrow down his final pick to 5 women, and those women were Dawn, Andrea, Aubrey, Shannon, and D Woods. Diddy finally found the girl group he always wanted, but this wasn't an average girl group. The group comprised of 5 different women with different ethnicities, which wasn't too common to see in girl groups. Not only that, all 5 of the ladies could sing and dance very well, which also wasn't common. Typically in girl groups, you had one lead singer who stood out the most. However, all 5 of the singers in Danity Kane carried their weight equally, which gave them a different type of respect than some of their counterparts. Although Diddy was satisfied with the ladies he chose for his group, he still didn't take the pressure off of their necks. If he didn't like something, he was quick to voice his criticism, whether it was about the girls' looks, or their size, or even their vocals. He was constantly making critiques.
I need you forever.
Okay, team huddle. Stop it. Shannon done dropped the ball. She want to break out of that shell. You want to get over it.
Who's that with the dark hair?
Aubrey.
You look like you got a wig on, just to be perfectly honest. You got a bootleg wig on. Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little thick? You're like a burger away.
So did any of the girls been told to lose weight ever?
Yeah.
Oh,
we were told not to put a morsel of food in our mouth for the video.
Yeah. He'll walk around and be like 5'10".
He'll be like 3 pounds. So just cut your hair.
He'll be like, just 2 pounds. I'm like, 2 pounds?
It's a big thing. Some of Diddy's critiques came off as very hurtful and insulting, but Diddy said he did this on purpose to toughen up the girls' skin. Danity Kane would be subjected to a lot of criticism by people in the industry and people online. Even though they were talented, they were oftentimes criticized on how well they could sing or perform. Also, the girls faced a lot of criticism for their looks. Dawn Richard in particular was bullied a little bit more for how she looked.
When the trainee stuff started in the beginning, when people were calling me like saying I was ugly in the beginning, I had a lot of blogs really like tearing me up in the beginning because, you know, I ain't no TV. I just kind of came in making a band and I was just doing stuff. I was just like, oh, music. I didn't know I had bad hair, but everything. I was just trying to figure it out. And that hurt me in the beginning because I had no idea what to expect. And then after that, I was like, look, I'm good.
Although the ladies faced some criticism, it didn't stop other people from loving them. Many fans who watched their journey on making the band were anticipating new music from the group. But before the group dropped new music, they had to come up with a name. The name they came up with had to be unique and it had to stick. Danity Kane seemed like it was the perfect choice. However, it wasn't the original choice. Diddy wanted the group to be called something else.
Yeah.
I was doing some research. And the name Danity Kane.
I made the name. It was from a character that I drew in high school. Yeah. And it's funny because he wanted to call us Queen 5. Queen 5. It's like Puff 9, bro. That's not it, bro.
Danity Kane.
The whole purpose of Danity Kane was to come up with something that we can define, not it defining us. So it's basically just if you say who's Danity Kane is all 5 of us. What's her face? This is the face of Danity Kane.
When Dawn came up with the name for the group, P. Diddy actually went along with it, and it was settled. The group was officially named Danity Kane. After the name was set in stone, Danity Kane was ready to release their first official single. The first single they released was called Showstopper, featuring their label mate Young Jock. The song was a cute, fun, and sassy hip-hop and pop song, and the audience received it well. A week after the song was released, their self-titled album dropped, and the album did surprisingly very well. Diddy's label didn't anticipate the amount of success that Danity Kane would actually have.
our label didn't believe in us. We were a show. Like, when Puff saw money, like he saw ratings, and MTV was that was what the money was. Danity Kane was just a concept of something bigger, right? He had no clue we were gonna be that big. I'll tell you, when we first came out, they said only do 100,000 copies because they're not gonna sell more than Cassie. That's what they told us when the first album came out. We sold 100,000 in a day, and they had to figure out how to get more units in by the time the week, and they barely got it, and we wound up selling 230,000 copies, and we could have sold more. We were in the Guinness Book of Records forever, but the only group
y'all were limited because they didn't have enough product.
They didn't believe in it. They didn't think we would. They didn't think we would sell.
The record sales were very surprising to Diddy and his label, and Danity Kane could have definitely sold more than 200,000 copies in the first week. Their album still debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 albums charts, and it later went on to sell 1 million copies. Also, their single Showstopper peaked to #8 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. In late 2006, Danity Kane released their follow-up single called Ride For You. Ride For You was an R&B ballad penned by the writer Brian Michael Cox. Even though Ride For You didn't have the same success as Showstopper, it still showed that the group had range. They could sing a slow song as easily as they could sing an up-tempo song.
I'm keeping my promise to you. I got your back now. Chips are down, yeah. So hard for you to prove your head and stand down. There ain't no lots of maybes. I'm gonna stay down and ride for you, baby.
In early 2007, Danity Kane went on tour with Christina Aguilera and the Pussycat Dolls, and it seemed as if Danity Kane was really going to take off. However, Bad Boy Records put a halt to Danity Kane's momentum. The group was in a limbo. They had issues with their manager and they parted ways with him. Also, they weren't making any money from the work they put in.
And then we got out there, and when we toured, they wouldn't give us any money. So we were sewing our costumes from Forever 21.
No, who wouldn't give you any money?
The label.
The label. Which label was that?
We were on Bad Boy.
No, it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't even money because we never make any. I mean, everybody else.
Make no money?
The first time,
were
listen, the
signed
first
to
round,
Diddy.
we had.
You let Shannon, now Shannon, you talk. Go.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, we have 2 platinum albums, let alone grossed over $1 million on Christina Aguilera's Back to Basics tour's opening for her, and we came off that tour $15,000 in debt. And grossed
that's
millions.
What's the money like after going platinum?
0.
How is life while touring and living on per diem? For instance, what is per diem now?
I don't know. Last time we got that was...
How much is it, Dawn?
It's like $2 now.
Damn, nothing changed with Diddy. He's still ripping his artists, obviously.
Yeah. Around this time, the girls started to grow a little bit frustrated. There are rumors swirling around that Danity Kane broke up. Some blogs were reporting that D Woods left Danity Kane to join another group called the Girls Club, and Aubrey O'Day was leaving to join the Pussycat Dolls.
Danity Kane, I don't really know what's going on with Danity Kane.
When do you find out about the
I
whole
love
Pussycat
Danity
Dolls?
Kane though, that's for sure.
When are you going to find out about the whole Pussycat Dolls thing?
You're giving up secrets right now, you're not supposed to know about that.
From Danity Kane or from Pussycat Dolls? Which is it?
A little bit of both.
Which, are you going to be on the Pussycat Dolls? Is that what it is? Are you still on Danity Kane now?
Yes, I'm still on Danity Kane.
Are you going to stay in Danity Kane?
Yes.
Definitely?
Danity Kane stays with me, sure.
Well, I mean, why are you saying it like that? You don't know what the deal is?
Yeah, don't know what the deal is.
Really?
Yeah.
When it comes for you guys to get together and do stuff, I mean, who goes out and makes the contact between everybody?
I used to be our manager, but we don't have one anymore, so at this point it's just us.
Well, D Woods just left the group. Is that true, or?
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
The rumors about Aubrey and D Woods leaving Danity Kane weren't true, but they definitely were looking around to find other projects to do while the group was on hiatus. Meanwhile, Diddy launched another season of Making the Band, and this time he was looking to find the next big R&B boy band. In 2007, he and his team put together a group called Day 26, and they also chose a solo artist named Danity Kane. In the next season of Making the Band 4, Diddy brought Danity Kane out of their hiatus. The season showcased Danity Kane working on their sophomore album and Day 26 working on their first album. It was a good strategy to promote both groups at the same time. Also, the interactions between Day 26 and Danity Kane did intrigue the viewers. Aubrey O'Day had a little fling going on with Donnie, D Woods was flirting with Rob from Day 26, and Q from Day 26 was romancing Don. Out of all the pair-ups, Don and Q would be the only ones to get in a full-on relationship.
I wouldn't mind claiming Dawn is.
You wouldn't mind? I would
want to
claim
claim you.
I want to claim you.
So what's up?
Let's claim each other.
Can I have a kiss, Dawn?
Go ahead.
Wow. Romance wasn't the only interesting thing about the season. Danity Kane's journey to making their second album was also very interesting. At one point, Danity Kane grew very frustrated with the music that they were given. They wanted to sing the songs that they liked and the songs they knew would be a hit. P. Diddy actually listened to their complaints and he allowed them to make the music that they wanted to make. This would actually be a smart decision because Danity Kane's next record would be the record to solidify their star power. In January 2008, the girls released the first single from their second album called Damage. Damage was an up-tempo dance track that immediately took off. The fans responded well to Damage, and the song did end up in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. After Danity Kane dropped their single Damage, they released their sophomore album, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Welcome to the Dollhouse would also perform very well on the charts. It sold over 200,000 copies in the first week, and it also debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 albums charts, making it the first female band in history to have both their first and second album debut at #1 on the charts. Welcome to the Dollhouse eventually became certified platinum. It was an album that took Danity Kane to a new level, but unfortunately, that would be the highest level they would reach as a group. Danity Kane could not escape the infamous bad boy curse. There were some business dealings behind the scenes that were affecting the group in a negative way, and it seemed as if Diddy was placing a higher priority on the reality show than on the group itself. Diddy was making a lot of money from the Making the Band franchise because he owned it, but when it came to actually dealing with his artists, there wasn't as much structure. There was another big issue that affected Danity Kane, and that was the tension between the group members. The group was very divided and the girls started forming cliques. One of the reasons why the girls started drifting apart was because they were pitted against each other by people from the outside. Aubrey actually talked about this in her interview with Variety. She said, as we got bigger, there was a lot of division in the group because the men wanted to put the women in categories. The pretty one, the one who sings, she explains, but the pretty one wanted to be a singer and the singer wanted to be known as pretty. So then you start disliking the people around you because of the boxes that the men want to put you in. And there was always cameras around, so we got used to not speaking openly with each other because we never wanted to make this show a battlefield for tantrums. We wanted to represent women in a good way. Although Danity Kane wanted to keep things PC on national TV, the lack of communication between the group members did hurt them more than anything. The tension in the group grew when certain members started getting more attention than others. There was an instance where Danity Kane did a cover for the magazine King. One cover included the group and the other cover included D Woods only. D Woods also got the opportunity to star as a love interest in Lloyd and Lil Wayne's video for the song You. She seemed to get a lot of favor from the urban audience, but she wasn't the only one who got special attention. Andrea and Don received favor from the fans for their vocals, and Shannon got favor for her dancing. But it was Aubrey who would get the most attention, not only by the fans, but even on the Hollywood scene. Aubrey was the wild card of the group. Her name was always in the blogs, and she partied and hung out with celebrities like Kim Kardashian, and she even landed her own solo photo shoots on different magazines. She also switched up her look multiple times, which made her stand out even more. Diddy wasn't happy with the physical changes he saw in Aubrey, and he felt like the fame was getting to her head. He didn't like the fact that he was losing control over her. This led to Diddy and Aubrey getting into many arguments.
Makeup, I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown
I'm not
at me.
seeing the flexibility. You gaming me.
Your
care people came in today and they said this is how it needs to be.
You know what I'm talking about. You're pushing your own image, though. You're going in the wrong direction. You need to stop the truck, pull over. I'm not changing nothing.
Okay, well, you wanted the weed out, the weed's out.
I just want you to look good.
If you're not happy, you hate me, then why are you having me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one thing we can make clear.
The tension between Diddy and Aubrey was serious. Aubrey did reveal in her interview with Variety that P. Diddy was difficult to work with. She said, Puff is a very difficult person to work with. Everything had to be perfect. I remember times where he looked at my toenails and was like, what is your third toenail doing? Go get that stuff fixed before you walk into a room. Or we would be in rehearsals performing for an hour-and-a-half set over and over, and he would walk in for 5 minutes with a camera and say, Aubrey, why are you sweating? You look like a wet dog. You're the hot one. So do you think anyone wants to see that? We were scared to death with what would happen with Puff each day. There was just no room for error. Diddy was one of the most intense people you could ever work with. I experienced everything from race remarks to sexism, and a lot of it was scary. After a while, Aubrey became more comfortable and more fearless, and she started to stand up to Diddy. The heated arguments between Diddy and Aubrey were definitely some of the highlights on Making the Band, and some people speculated that their arguments were nothing more than a lover's quarrel. There were rumors going around for a while that Aubrey and Diddy had a secret relationship. Aubrey, however, denied those rumors.
So now you and Puffy apparently have some sort of relationship, which we've talked about before, Al. It's between you and Cassie as to which one has a lock on Puffy. Do you get the allowance?
No, I don't touch Puff at all.
Anymore?
At all, never did.
There was a rumor she was pregnant from Puff at one time.
But in regards to the relationship, I think this season will definitely put all of that to rest in the sense that if I were having a relationship, I definitely wouldn't have been going through all of that mess with him.
Yes, yes.
And it was like a rumor for a while that you and Diddy had something. Did you and Diddy ever have any type of sexual
No, not at
moments?
all. Not at all. I think from what
He never gave you the look like...
I don't know if he didn't give me the look, but what I will say about that, I always ask people when they say that, like, where do you get that from? Why are you thinking that? And they always say, well, the way you talked to him on the show, like, you really acted like, you know, you obviously had been in bed with him the night before. You had some privilege or some right to be talking to Diddy like that.
Right.
And it's interesting to me, and I hear that a lot from females, and it's interesting to me because as a woman, you should really applaud women that aren't afraid of speaking their mind and that don't, you know, cower in the likes of money and power. I mean,
no matter who you are.
Aubrey didn't only have issues with Diddy, but she also had issues with some of the group members as well. Some of the ladies were a little bothered that Aubrey was seeking opportunities outside of the group, and they felt like she was drifting away. D Woods was supportive of Aubrey because they were the closest in the group around that time, but Andrea, Shannon, and Dawn weren't exactly pleased. And they had a good reason not to be.
It fell apart.
What was the last straw for you?
We did a show at Six Flags, and we all came in different cars, and we all were in different trailers. And I was like, this is wild. And I found out later that Aubrey had like full-on relationships with our managers, and I didn't even know the girl. She had like a full-on relationship. Like there was a lot of like that
was her boo?
She was having relationships.
So
she was protected in the sense, and it didn't make other people comfortable. And I think that was the last straw. She was getting offers to go do Broadway without the group.
Wow.
We would perform and she wouldn't show up.
So you were done. I'm out of here.
No, we were doing shows and we would be like, let's go, and then just she wasn't there. She didn't come.
Even though Aubrey was singled out as the problem child of the group, she wasn't the only reason why the group had tension. Apparently, some of the girls were a little upset when they heard that Diddy was planning to push Dawn as a solo artist. Rumors were going rampant that Dawn and Diddy had private meetings to plan out her solo career. There are some Danity Kane tracks that leaked on the internet of Dawn's solo vocals, and it made some people speculate that Dawn was breaking away from the group. It didn't help the rumors when Diddy brought Dawn out as a solo artist during his performance at the E-Talk Festival party. Even though Diddy never voiced it, he did slightly favor Dawn. But him singling out Dawn made it seem as if he wanted to push her as a solo artist. Some of the other ladies in Danity Kane heard rumors about Dawn potentially going solo, and they believed it. This contributed to more tension within the group. That's not the only thing that caused tension between the ladies. It was rumored that Dawn and D Woods bumped heads. There was a point where they almost got into a fight because Dawn allegedly was bad-mouthing D Woods behind her back.
Listen, y'all want to know, like, straight up, I can fly it back 6 years ago to the first time that I really learned what it was. We were in the studio with Diddy. He came out and was like, everybody get on your laptops right now and tell the world to buy your new album, okay? So all of a sudden I get a text message from the girl who was a fan that ran my fan page, which was the, like, probably biggest site for all the Danity Kane users because I was in the first round of making the band. So I go downstairs. She asked me to meet up with her. I go downstairs, I meet up with her, and she's like, well, you know how there's this name Expithian, I think it was 14 or something like that, that's been on the blogs for the past year and a half that said that you started the rumor that I slept with Diddy and leaked it to Sandra Rose or whatever it was. Started the, started circulating cellulite on specifically D Woods, and I called D Woods on the forums a fat N-word.
D Woods don't got a lot of cellulite.
She doesn't have any cellulite. Girl is fit as hell.
Said you called her fat.
Said this person called D Woods that name. Those are just like a few of the highlight specials of the nastiness that had been brewed up for a year and a half. And I was always telling this fan, kick them off the site, get rid of them, get rid of them. So all she can do is read the inside computer information, like all the IP addresses, etc., as a moderator. So anyways, I go down there to some fan that I barely have met a couple times that was running the site. And she said to me, what's the computer that you just posted to everyone to buy your guys' new album? And I said, well, Diddy came in and he told us to get on the computer now. I don't have my laptop, so I went on Dawn's. Why?
That was the IP address?
And she said, that's the IP address of Expithian.
Ooh. Round of applause.
So she was using a code name to write nasty things?
So then I was like, this could be some hearsay. You know, I don't know. I needed facts. So I ran upstairs while everybody was on a damn lunch break, typed in EXP, and Expithian 14 popped right up in her user box. Wow. So this is the thing, though. Had I told anyone at that time, our group would have been over because D Woods would have never played after that. She would have come at her real quick, especially after the type of vulgar disrespect that was being spoken about. Specifically, usually it was D Woods and I. So at that point, I didn't say anything because I wanted our group to work. And sometimes you have to put business in front of your feelings. After about 6 months, I think, you know, again, the details of time are, you know, I don't know how much time passed, but D Woods was on a phone call with Dawn. She was trying to manipulate her in some way, and I always stayed out of it because they always had beef, and I stayed out of it. Dawn always had beef with D Woods. D Woods did not care. D Woods was fine doing her, always. But anyway, long story short, D Woods got off the phone, and Dawn didn't hang up her phone properly, and she was again cursing out D Woods, making slurs, doing all kinds of crazy shit, and D Woods saw it for herself. And then that's when I sat down with D and was like, yo, this is the truth that I've known for a while. This is what we're dealing with. And then literally the next time they were in the same room together, they almost fought.
Really?
D Woods went off. Now, and I knew that would happen, which is why I didn't tell everyone what had happened earlier. Dawn left when D Woods confronted her, took off for 2 days, and then came back and said she didn't know what was happening, so she just left and went to figure it out. And then when she came back, she told us that it was her boyfriend that had done it the whole time.
Oh, which one, Quincy?
First of all, no, it was another guy.
Dawn did deny the claims that Aubrey made. When a fan asked her about it, she said, nah, she a liar, period. Why wait 6 years to say that? Stupid, and I actually like D. We had one issue, but I never would say bad stuff about her. She also said on tour they, meaning the people on the message board, were reckless about her. Never joined in with that. I F's with her. We just never connected. It's unclear what the real issue between D Woods and Dawn was about, but apparently there was something going on between the group members. D Woods did tell Madame Noir that she had to stop herself from getting into an altercation with somebody, but she didn't name any names.
I tried to really not go there. I really tried to really not go there because it probably would have ended a lot sooner.
D Woods and Dawn weren't the only ones who allegedly had an isolated feud within the group. Apparently, Aubrey and Andrea didn't get along either. Aubrey and Andrea were very close at first, and they both started off in Danity Kane together. However, they did drift apart, and it became very noticeable. The group's foundation at that point was very fragile. Even though they put on a facade that they were happy together, it was clear that that wasn't the case. In July 2008, Danity Kane released their second single from their album Welcome to the Dollhouse, and it would be their last single. The song they released was called Bad Girl, featuring Missy Elliott. The song was a sexy, fun, up-tempo dance song, and it had the potential to be another hit song for Danity Kane. In fact, most of the songs on Welcome to the Dollhouse had the potential to be hits. They also had a ballad called Anybody Listening, and that was supposed to be their next single. Unfortunately, Danity Kane would not get to see the potential success they could have achieved with the album. Around this point, the tension within the group was no longer concealable. Rumors got back to P. Diddy that the girls were at odds with each other, and he decided to call for an emergency meeting on national TV. This did worry the girls because they realized that they were in deep trouble this time. It wasn't the first time that Diddy called for an intervention for the group, but the girls felt like they would get seriously reprimanded by Diddy, so they made a pact not to tell him anything that was going on between them.
And we sat in this Scooby-Doo white van, and we all said, you know what? We're not gonna say nothing. Let's just say we cool. Let's get a third album, and let's like go in and tell them we Gucci. Let's get this money. And everybody in the car was like, bet. Then we get in the room, and he says, I'm hearing y'all having problems. Y'all talking reckless, what's going on? And Aubrey was really mouthy at that time. But here's the thing, a woman should be able to say what she want to say. So at that time, she felt like she had issues. He asked her how she felt, and they went, well, we know you have a deal with Dawn as a solo artist. And I was like, wait, what? So like we had a conversation in the car, and then it did not happen that way.
Right.
So then they had a whole thing about Puff picking me as a solo artist, and that he had chosen me, and I was sitting at the table like it was the Twilight Zone. And I was like,
no,
he did?
No, the world wants to know.
Yeah.
Did you have a side deal?
No.
So where did it come from?
They said MTV told them that. They said MTV had told them that Puff, because Aubrey was really close with the crew. She had a relationship, and I had I was sitting at the table, and my face was confused the whole like table. I was like, what's going on? And he fired her.
So what was Puffy's response when they said that you guys had a side deal? What did he say? He
fired Aubrey on national television.
The vision that I had for the group, this ain't the vision that I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I don't work these amount of years to have you talk to me this way.
I'm not meaning to.
So I don't want you in the group no more. That's where I'm at with it. Okay. All right, because I don't want to even have to have this conversation.
This is the thing, Puff built Aubrey up. He built her up on television. You made her a star. Like he called her, you the only white girl with black. He did that. And then she felt it.
It was Frankenstein.
She
it was the classic Frankenstein.
And so she came back, her titties was done. She came back and it was like, I'm that girl. As she should. He made her that. But then he got mad because the direction of the group wasn't what he wanted the direction of the group to be.
I mean, you create the monster, and then the monster kills you.
And she started talking to him.
Frankenstein.
And he allowed her as a white woman, she felt she could talk to, he allowed her to talk to him any kind of way. And me and D could not talk to Puff that way because we would be the angry black women. Right, that would not fly. He gave her that leniency, so she got real comfortable.
Started smelling herself.
Well, she felt herself an equal.
Right.
She had every right. She had every right. And he was like, oh no, but let me let you feel this real fast. And he said, fired, boom, like that.
Aubrey wasn't the only one who was fired on the spot. D Woods was also fired.
You seem like at the end of the day, you're not really happy in the situation. Based on a lot of things that I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you could go too.
This scene was one of the most shocking scenes in the Making the Band history. Diddy fired 2 of the members from his multi-platinum selling girl group on national TV. Dawn, Andrea, and Shannon were completely distraught. Even though they didn't always get along, they still had love for Aubrey and D Woods. They knew that there wouldn't be a Danity Kane without all 5 of them in the group. And they had a sick feeling in their stomach that this was the beginning of the end for Danity Kane. It added another blow when their manager, Johnny Wright, who's most known for managing big acts like Britney Spears, NSYNC, and Janet Jackson, decided to quit managing Danity Kane. After Diddy fired 2 of the group members on national TV, the girls were invited back to the live finale of the show, but only Dawn, Shannon, Andrea, and Aubrey would be there. D Woods, on the other hand, didn't want to make an appearance. She was more focused on getting out of her contract and moving on.
No, immediately after he fired me, I went downstairs and got in my car service and then went to an appearance for 17 magazine that I was hosting for Fashion Week.
So you were just like unaffected.
I mean, I'm affected, but I mean, it's like.
And we were at home crying like, Danity Kane, no.
When the show actually aired, I was in London hosting the Mobo Awards.
Okay.
So it was just like, yo, it is what it is. You know, it's business. I got my lawyer on the phone. He's on it.
Right.
Make sure that we get that release statement. I mean, that release contract, because that was the first priority. He verbally terminated my contract on national television. Make sure they put it in writing, because I'm not trying to be held up in the contract for my whole career.
In October 2008, the season finale of Making the Band 4 aired, and Shannon, Andrea, Dawn, and Aubrey sat down and talked about Diddy firing their group members for the first time.
Were you shocked when this all went down?
Yeah, very shocked. I don't think we all even saw this coming.
You're still kind of shocked, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you feel like the group still needs to be a family even when you guys are off the stage?
I feel like we are a family, and that's why we have moments where we don't get along. And so that's why I'm really shocked that it came to basically a dismantle situation over beefs, and I'm still very shell shocked.
I'm honestly, I have no words. Like, I don't even know where to like look right now, or what to even really think.
What about you, Dawn?
I think people haven't even seen the potential of what this group can be, and I think we're strong women.
They're strong.
So I'm not scared. Okay. I know we'll get it together, and I know we will not just disappoint the fans, because at the end of the day, when no one was there, they were.
They were there.
It's up to the group, man. It's not. This is not really my decision. I just went and made the decision for them. It's up to them. You know, y'all gotta ask Andrea. You know, did she really want to be in the group? You gotta really ask her what problems did she really have with Aubrey. You gotta ask what was going on with the Ebony and Ivory clique. Y'all all heard about the things that were going on the internet. There was a lot of things going on. This ain't got nothing to do with Puff.
Okay, is there anything that happened that you regret, or do you regret the way it ended?
Well, I don't have regrets in life, because I think even the things that I've done that I'm not so proud of have taught me how to be better in life. So, no, I absolutely have no regrets. I don't think any of the ladies sitting on this stage tonight have regrets. You know, we've fought. Okay, we haven't gotten along. Okay, we haven't trusted each other, and we've had moments where we weren't so honest or real or like the best of family to each other. Okay. But there is something that's going on with us 5 women that y'all will never know. And it's not in a disrespectful way, but it is family. And we have struggles that y'all will never know, that y'all will never see. And we have gotten through them together. Every time we have gotten through, we found the strength.
Aubrey O'day, what is it that you would like to say to Diddy? I mean, this is a golden opportunity for you guys to even mesh.
I have something great to say to him.
Okay.
I love your shirt.
Hey yo, check this out, baby girl. See, your attitude is gonna have you in a dark and lonely place. Trust me on that.
Okay.
What you need to do at the end of the day, what you need to do is humble yourself. There's millions of people that would love to be in your position, and the people in the audience need to tell you real talk. For real, y'all need to get rid of the pettiness and take the accountability on yourselves. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Diddy tried to shift the blame for the group's breakup on Danity Kane, but in the end, he was the one making the executive decision to let some of the members go. And he may have had some regrets for doing that, but what was done was done. Danity Kane would never be the same. It was down to only 3 members, Andrea, Dawn, and Shannon. Unfortunately, Shannon would be the 3rd person to leave, and she would walk away on her own accord. She felt like it was more important to focus on her family life and her marriage than deal with the uncertainty of the group. Danity Kane was now down to 2 members, Dawn and Andrea. Dawn and Andrea did have a special bond musically, and both of their voices was a major part of the Danity Kane sound. With them being the last two standing, they did have hope that the group would make a rebound. However, Diddy crushed that hope when he fired Andrea.
Well, you're a great person. You're a great girl. But if I did another group, I wouldn't feel comfortable with doing a group with you. And so I've given a lot of thought, and I'm gonna let you out your contract too.
When Diddy fired Andrea, it was another blow to Danity Kane fans. The reason why Diddy fired Andrea is because he felt like she had the tendency to give up when things were getting tough. So according to him, he didn't feel comfortable enough to keep her in the group, but it still looked bad. Diddy let go 4 of the members, and Dawn was the only one left standing. Dawn broke down in tears when she realized the group was officially over. She was uncertain about her future on Bad Boy Records, and she feared that she would be stuck in a contract and not be able to make any more music.
I am the only remaining member. But then where does that leave me? Here on my dollar? Me trying to spend money on what? What money, Q? Students, it's not my fault. I'm tired, so tired.
Now that Danity Kane was done, Dawn had to figure out what to do next. What was she going to do next? And what was going to happen to the rest of the ladies now that they got fired? To find out what happens, stay tuned to part 2 of this documentary. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.